Thomas Wood with Paycor Mortgage.
And I'm Aubrey Crane with FedEx.
And we're here to celebrate the Bud Billiken. Another year, another fabulous event we're expecting. So we're just here to enjoy this wonderful building as well, brand new rehab. Want to see what it looks like. We're here to have a good time.
I'm here to support the children that want to continue their education. We give a lot of money to make sure that they are able to do so, which we've been doing for a few years. And I'm just happy to be here and celebrate the new building with the Defender.
Hi, I'm Eitan Michaeli. I'm the author of The Defender, How the Legendary Black Newspaper Changed America. But I was also a staff member here at 24th in Michigan at the Chicago Defender from 1991 to 1996. It's where I got my education in all things Chicago, and I'm indebted to the Defender organization and the Sengstack family forever for that. This book is part of my effort to repay Chicago and the community for everything that they've done for the city of Chicago and for the United States of America.
My name is Tanya Woods. I'm the Executive Director of the West Side Justice Center. So we're here because this is a momentous occasion, marking all the progress that has been made in over, so many decades, and the contributions that the Sengstacks and the Abbotts have made to this community, not only to the media community, print media, but also to the African American community, not only here in Chicago, but across the country. And we are all the beneficiaries of that legacy. So I am here as a guest of my Edie Sengstack Rice. And it's my certain pleasure to be here with all of these dignitaries, celebrities, and just regular folk who recognize the importance of the Sengstack Abbott legacy.
Hi, my name is Enoch Clark Bay. I'm here supporting the Chicago Defender Charities because I believe in education. They do a great job in sending young black men and women to school, so I'm for that.
So my name is Tamara Holmes. This is my husband Jeremy, and we're here to just celebrate the Chicago Defender and their work. I'm also being honored tonight as the Bessie Coleman Aviation Award honoree, so I'm really excited about that and to continue our work in the African American community for future aviators in Chicago.
Good evening. I'm Dr. Tracy Powell. I'm the Behavioral Health Medical Director for Harmony Health Plan, and we are just so excited to be here, be a sponsor for the event, because we understand how important education is and how important healthcare for all is. So we're just happy to be here and be a partner.
Hi, I'm Alexis Owens, President of Ventures Unlimited, and we also value education for our communities, and we know the importance of ensuring that companies and organizations work together to build stronger youth and sending them to college.
Well, we are Danielle and
Charles Sutton.
And we have a not-for-profit called Brownsville Urban Development that's all about sustainability and education. And we are very happy to support the Defender Charities Scholarship Fund, which is so very important to our young people. Particularly, we're pushing for education and renewable energy, sustainability, and what else are we pushing?
Saving the planet.
Saving the planet.
At the rate we're going, the environment is falling apart on a daily basis. Terrible storms everywhere, clusters of tornadoes, not just a tornado, clusters of tornadoes. And all those things interfere with the food supply and security. Because when people are hungry, they're going to be out in the streets and in your house and everywhere else trying to get something.
So we're promoting the first solar associated microgrid in the city of Chicago, located right here in Brownsville.
Hi, I'm Derek Harris. I'm one of the managers of Chevrolet Homewood. We are one of the sponsors for the annual Bud Billiken Parade, and Wiltney is one of my best sales consultants, Alfred Jacques. You might know him from Loyola days or the San Antonio Spurs. He played in the NBA, played in Loyola, he played overseas, and we're just here because we enjoy this event and we like to give back to the community. That's why Chevrolet Homewood is going to always sponsor charity events like this and be a part of things like this. We love Chicago, we want to keep Chicago going, and we want to look forward to the youth and being able to have the things they need to get a great education.
Mr. Hughes? It's my pleasure, it's my honor to be here. And you know what? At Chevrolet Homewood, we give back.
My name is Leon Finney, and I am the president of the Woodlawn Community Development Corporation, a former Defender newsboy, and also when I was in college, I wrote articles for the Chicago Defender. I'm pleased to be here because this is a historic moment for those of us on the south side of the city of Chicago to reflect, remember, and to help this particular organization move on. Defender and its charity is very, very important to the city of Chicago, and in particular for the Bud Billiken Parade, which is all about our kids making sure they go to school, stay in school, and graduate. I celebrate the Chicago Defender.
You were just crying this morning, I can tell.
Okay, first of all, can we give Lawani another hand? So I just want to thank everyone for coming out. This is a very precious time for us because this building means so much to our community. Let's just start with that. I mean, if everyone feels a sense of ownership to this building, because so many people come to me and they say, what's happening with the Chicago Defender building and so forth. And but this is, for the Sing Stack family, also precious because we own the building for 60 years. Before we had ownership of the building, it was an automobile club, so hence Revel Motor Row. This is why, so the new company, our sponsor who is so gracious enough to let us have this event here tonight, is the name of the company's Revel Motor Row, and they did such a wonderful job at keeping the integrity of the building. Many of you, raise your hand if you've been here before the renovation. Well, a lot of you have seen it. And so this is original work. They, as it was, some of it was coming apart, they actually had people handcraft to make sure that they can, you know, keep with the integrity of the history. But you're standing in a very amazing room. We've had so many people that have been in this room. Just, of course, Obama, many times. There have been some serious meetings. This was the boardroom, by the way. And so the table, which they still have, they actually restored the table and it's next door, started from a little after that passageway right there to probably about here. The table was huge. It was custom made. And my grandfather would often, you know, he'd hold meetings and sit at the end of the table and he'd bang on the table with his finger, you know, and he would try to get a point across. But you can imagine the senators, the congressmen, the mayors that have been in this room, the presidents, we're talking about Johnson and Kennedy, have all been in this room. This is a very powerful place. Actually, Dr. Singstack is going to elaborate on that. But so it just, right now, just being here means a lot to us, and it means a lot for us to be able to share it with you. I'm just glad that everyone came out, all of our supporters, all of our sponsors with Bud Billiken, and all of the sponsors that are supporting our scholarship recipients. This is our 14th year where we are handing out scholarships to children who are part of Bud Billiken and Charities. I'm not going to say too much more. I just wanted to invite you here. I wanted you to see this beautiful place. You can feel free to, I'm going to show you around. There's a suite. I want to tell you a little something. There's a room behind you, and that was actually like a, kind of like a living room. It was private. And then there's another room to the left of it, and that was a private apartment. So my grandfather didn't necessarily live there full time, but he kept that, and a lot of people didn't know about it. So downstairs from there is his office, and then there's some private stairs, marble stairs that lead up to the room where I'm going to let you all see. So I just wanted to share just how beautiful the architecture is and what in the history and how much it means. And also, there's an article, as you saw, we had the newsboys, we call them the Bronzeville, Broadway and Bronzeville newsboys that handed the newspaper. I want you to take the time when you get a chance to read it because it tells the story of John Singstad. And in this, it talks about his dedication to the community. A lot of people didn't know that he was responsible for integrating the armed forces by convincing President Truman, to integrate the armed forces. He was also responsible for integrating the Postal Service and for affirmative action, which was really interesting. So, but on top of that, one of his, I would say his heart was Providence Hospital. And what I'd say about Providence Hospital, it was started by Daniel Hale Williams. Daniel Hale Williams was, he performed the first open heart surgery, as many of you know. And he started the nursing school, if you all are not aware, first black nursing school. And so they named the school Providence Hospital. I mean, they named it Providence, and then it had Providence Hospital. Well, later, it was torn down or closed down. And so what John Singstad noticed was that many people who were in distress medically had to travel all the way to the west side to get medical treatment if they didn't have insurance. So that bothered him, and that hurt his heart. And so he wanted to see another hospital on the south side. So he worked very hard for 10 years and raised $55 million in order to build Providence. And they said, do you want to name it Singstad Hospital? And he said, no, name it Providence Hospital to honor Daniel Hale Williams, which I appreciate. Thank you. So what I want to say is, the Chicago Defender Charities was founded by John Singstad also in 1945 to carry on Bud Billiken Parade. And it also we are basically, I should say, carrying the torch. And it's a new day, and what we're focusing on, not only just education, not only giving out scholarships, but we also have launched a digital journalism program, which is fitting, obviously, journalism. And then we also we have the wellness initiative. And with the wellness initiative, this is to keep in step with the vision of John Singstad for wellness in the African American community, particularly Bronzeville. And we've also been talking with Harmony Healthcare, WellCare company, who's been so gracious to be one of our sponsors for this particular occasion. So I appreciate, I don't know if they're in the room yet. I'd like them to wave, but I want to thank particularly Harmony Healthcare because they have been so gracious to, understand the fight of John Singstad and how important that is. But now I'm going to give the mic to Dr. Mark Singstad. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I want to share very quickly with you a story that I think is a good example of what the Chicago Defender was about and is about. In 1976, that year, Jim Thompson ran for governor, and of course he won, and he served several terms. At the Bud Billiken Parade that year, we had a reception in this room, and I remember seeing the governor sitting on that ledge, and as I think about it, I'm wondering why he did that, because he seemed like he was awfully close to falling off the ledge of the building. But also that year, the Democratic candidate was Michael Howlett. He was Secretary of State, and he also was in this room. And at one point, Mr. Howlett, Mr. John Singstad, they went in the back room, which we will show you shortly. I didn't go in, but I looked in, and I saw them talking, and I'm certain they were discussing whom Mr. Singstad was going to endorse. And I say that to give you an idea of the kind of activity that takes place in this building. Politicians and many other leaders respected the Chicago Defender because, for one thing, They knew we did our homework, and they knew we were about representing the people. When the Chicago Defender endorsed Harold Washington in, I believe that was 1983, in that editorial, it said, and I cannot quote directly, but basically it said, we acknowledge that we are not the most read newspaper. However, we do our homework. Therein lies our power, real power. That is, and those, I can just picture Mr. John Sinstack saying that. And the point is, many politicians, they know that, and they took seriously coming here to meet with our editorial board, of which I was a member for a number of years. I could go through a long list. Mayor Daley, Rod Page, the former education secretary under George Bush, Barry McCaffrey, the drug czar under George Bush, Governor Ryan, Governor Blagojevich, Reverend Jesse Jackson, Senator Carol Moseley Braun, Obama, and many others. I'm not going to go through the whole list, but that's just to give you an idea of what the Chicago Defender was and is about, and the clout that this newspaper had. And before I take too long, we will now move on with the program, and I turn it back over to my aide.
Is Alexis Owens here, please? Dr. Powell?
So on behalf of Harmony Health Plan here in Illinois, we just want to say that we are extremely excited to continue to support the Chicago Defender Charities by providing scholarship dollars, and we are particularly excited about the work that John H. Sinstack has done in the healthcare community. And so because of that, we wanted to be a part of the unveiling of a visual.
My turn?
Yes, it's your turn.
How about a countdown? 3,
2, 1.
All right, beautiful. Okay, so first of all, I want to thank Harmony Healthcare for giving us this beautiful piece of work. And it's John Sinstack in the middle. And on the top, you'll see the current hospital, and it says Sinstack Professional Building. So they insisted on naming something after him, even though he said just name it Provident. Daniel Hell Williams, of course. Emma Reynolds, the first nurse, the first black nurse. And then the nursing school, and you see the nurses graduating, and the doctors are on the top, that'll be your left, and the groundbreaking. It's beautiful.
Hi, this is Latasha here with Chicago Defender Charities, and I'm interviewing Dr. Powell from Harmony Health. So Dr. Powell.
Hi, how are you? I'm Dr. Tracy Powell. I'm the Behavioral Health Medical Director for Harmony Health Plan. Thank you very much for taking some time with me.
Of course. So I'm wondering if you can tell me what the Bud Billiken means to you.
Sure. So I have a long history with the Bud Billiken Parade, like most people from Chicago. I was born and raised in Chicago, South Side. Actually was in the Bud Billiken Parade in 1990 with the SCAVE Cotillion, which was Sickle Cell Anemia Volunteer Enterprise. I was one of the runner-ups for their cotillion, and we were part of the parade, taking my children to the parade over the years. Grew up with the Bud Billiken Parade, so it's very rewarding to come full circle and be here and be able to participate as a sponsor and to be able to give scholarships in relation to the Bud Billiken Parade.
All right. Do you have a personal philosophy about education you want to share with us?
Sure. So my philosophy about education is it is the key to opportunity. Without education, you're at other people's liberty and graces. But with education, you hold the key to your future and being able to write your ticket and what you want to do. So education is the foundation.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate you coming out tonight. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
This next person is very near and dear to my heart. His name is Dr. Bill Winston. He is the founder of Living Word Christian Center, which has a membership of, I believe, 20,000, but I'm not going to say too much because we will have Dolores Thomas come up and say more because she'll be more accurate. But I would say this, he is like a father to me, and I appreciate everything that he's done as far as supporting entrepreneurship, education, and business with his Joseph Business School. Business School of Business Center of Entrepreneurship. I'm sorry if I'm messing that up because I'm actually a cohort 3, so I should be in trouble for that. And so, but he has just to see what he's done. He has a flight school. You know, there's just so many things that he's done in our community. But he also was a supporter of the Chicago Defender, the Charities, and the Sing Stack family for many years. He's actually been here before the building was renovated many times for functions. And I'm just so appreciative and just wanted to be able to nominate him for the John H.H. Sing Stack Award because that's something that I wouldn't give to anybody because my grandfather was near and dear to my heart. And all of the things that my grandfather's accomplished, I believe that Dr. Winston definitely deserves to receive an award in the name of John H. Sing Stack. So Dolores Thomas, please come up. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Maidi, and it's totally okay for you to have messed up the name. We have grown over the last 20 years, and so when she attended the Joseph Business School was known as the School of Business and Entrepreneurship, but now it's the Joseph Business School, so she has all right to get it mixed up. But Dr. Winston has been a wonderful patriot, not only of this country, but of the people in this country, and wanting to make sure that he maintained the legacy of entrepreneurship. And one of the things that he really loved about Maidi and what she represents with John Sinstad is that he always read his Bible. And when Maidi would talk to Dr. Winston, she would talk about how her grandfather always read the Word. And there's one scripture in particular that was dear to his heart, which was in Proverbs 13:22, that says, "A good man leaves an inheritance to his children." And not only did he leave a physical inheritance, but he left more than that. He left values, and the values of valuing the community and making sure that the community was always a part of the business transactions that were done, that it wasn't just for business only, but really to lift up a people. And so Dr. Winston exemplifies that, not only with the church, but he also believes in entrepreneurship as a method of eradicating poverty and changing the economic condition of our people. And so we accept this award kindly on his behalf, and we believe that the vision of John Sinstad will continue to live on as we exemplify his values here. Thank you so much.
So the next honoree is Dr. Anderson Thompson, who I actually received my master's from Northeastern Illinois University Center for Inner City Studies. And he was the senior professor there at the school. He was also a noted Africanologist, author, historian, and member of the Kemetic Institute of Chicago. And so we just want to honor Dr. Anderson Thompson. This man has such a wealth of knowledge, and I learned so much from him. That's how I started my research with the book that I eventually published about the Chicago Defender, where I started from the Reconstruction era. So he actually got me started he said, on my research from that period, he said, he told us to look and pick a period of time. And so I picked Reconstruction era, and then so that I began to teach from that time. So I'm just so appreciative. And so he is receiving today the Frederick D. Singstack Award for Education. And I'd like to please come up. I know Dr. Thompson's not here, but his representative, his family. Thank you. Thank you so much.
humbly accept this award on behalf of my father. My name is James Thompson. I'm his eldest son. He has 5 children. I come also supported in this venture by my family sitting in the center table there. My father's wife and my sister Jean and brother Paul. And so we all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. When we received an invitation, we were told that my father used to deliver the Defender. I didn't remember him telling me about it, but that was very interesting that he would deliver a paper that many decades later he would be writing articles in. So that was very, very humbling. Early on in life, I used to always wonder, wow, he still works long and hard. I don't see him when I get up. I go to bed, he's gone. So certainly the Lincoln Center, and then called Communiversity, and then Center for Inner City Studies, and Jacob Carruthers Institute was his second home. So on behalf of my family, I thank you all, and I thank you for inviting me to receive this award for him. Thank you.
Our next award is the Marjorie Stewart Joyner Award for Innovation, and this goes to Christia Donaldson. Christia Donaldson, the youthful founder and CEO of Thank God It's Natural, a manufacturer of natural hair and skincare products, currently can be found on your store shelves here in the South Loop, Target, Whole Foods, Sally's Beauty, and Walgreens. In her role, she oversees all aspects of day-to-day operation. Christy has been featured in many publications, and her book, Thank God I'm Natural, the ultimate guide for caring for natural hair, is a #1 Amazon bestseller. Something else you might want to know about her is that Christia is a breast cancer survivor. Deeply committed to raising awareness about this condition and the benefits of early detection, especially among women of color. Christia got her bachelor's in economics from Harvard with high honors and a graduate of Harvard Law, and most notably named Crane's 40 under 40 in 2016. Congratulations, please welcome Christina.
So I just want to start by thanking the Chicago Defender, Dr. Eileen Kelly, and the Black Women's Lawyers Association for nominating me for this award this evening. After having had the opportunity to read about Ms. Joyner's accomplishments, I'm deeply humbled to be honored in your presence this evening. For those of you who don't know, she was the first Black woman to be awarded a patent for her invention in the hair care industry of a permanent waving system. She was also deeply supportive of HBCUs, as well as a colleague of Madam C.J. Walker's, and instrumental in her expansion of her hair care salon business nationwide. Thanks to people like Ms. Joyner, as well as Mr. Abbott and the Sensaki family, Black entrepreneurs such as myself continue to thrive. It allows us to do business with people like you said, Target and the national retailers of the world, as well as to continue to mentor, inspire, and train and hire people from our own community. So thank you again to the Chicago Defender and all of you for being here, for your support this evening. So thank you again.
And we have gone full circle with our hair, ladies, have we not? You know, we were trying to relax it, and now it's natural, and now anything goes. You wear it anyway that makes you feel good. We are beautiful as we are, whatever your hair is doing that day. So thank you for helping us do that. And we will look for those products. We want to support you and all the women entrepreneurs. Our next award goes to Sheila Wilkerson Sanders. This is the David Callum Award for Community Service. Sheila M. Wilkerson Sanders is the owner and managing broker for Supreme Manor Real Estate Services. Prior to entering real estate, Sheila was actually a senior VP for Director of Investment Operations at Bank of America. Upon retirement in 2002, Sheila, get this, was one of only 5 African American female senior vice presidents in the organization, an organization that employed over 100,000. So she is breaking that glass ceiling. Do you see the cracks? She grew up in business and eventually established 3 subsidiaries: Supreme Manor Real Estate Service, Supreme Manor Construction Services, SMS Cares, Community Advocates for Real Life Education and Support. So she has done tremendous work in her work and outside of work to educate her daughters through college graduation and so many different things in her community and the faithful service, and also an active member of Trinity United Church of Christ in Chicago, a woman of faith, a woman of conviction, a woman who gets it done. Ladies and gentlemen, Sheila Wilkerson Sanders.
Thank you. I want to start by thanking the Chicago Defender Charities for this honor. It's very humbling to get this award, and so I want to thank them for honoring me for doing what I just love doing. That I just do because I love doing it. What it doesn't say in my bio is that my first retirement was by choice, but not for what I thought it was. You know, God does things for us. And he puts us in places that we don't necessarily know that we're supposed to be. And my first retirement, I thought I retired for one reason, but it was because I wasn't doing what my purpose is. Leah said that, you know, I exceeded my own expectations in my first career. And I was able to travel the world and do wonderful things. And then I ended up at the bottom. And I ended up in a career path that was a new career path for me, not knowing that what was expected of me was to pass on my knowledge to other people. And as I got into my real estate career, I realized the problems that we had in our community and how people spent money and didn't think about spending money, they didn't think about their credit, they didn't think about saving money, they didn't think about reducing their debt. And so I found myself in a situation that I wasn't just selling real estate, but I was helping people change their lives. And so I started SMS Cares for that purpose, to be able to help people to get their lives in order. And fortunately, I was able to retire for a second time. But I still continue to do what I love to do, and that's to educate people on improving their lives and helping others improve their lives, and bringing things back into our community, and helping people to understand that we have to help ourselves. And we have to help ourselves by putting the money back into our community. So I thank you for this honor. I want to just put this on the spirit of the new scholarship recipients to let you know that sometimes the career path that you choose isn't necessarily what your purpose is in life. And it's okay if you go to college and you go into a profession and you decide that that's not your profession. It's okay. And so if you find as you go through your college career that maybe that's not the major for you, it's okay to change majors. Thank you so much.
Our next award is the Bessie Coleman Award for Aviation. Tamara Holmes is a recipient, a strong advocate for youth in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, the STEM fields. We need more women in STEM. Yes, we do. Woo! She's the president of Aerostar Consulting Corporation. Since 2008, Holmes has been opening doors for youth to a field to a career path in these fields. Her focus is getting more African Americans and African American females and other underserved and underrepresented population interested in aviation STEM careers. Growing up in a west suburb of Chicago, Maywood, Tamara understands the impact and the current climate in Chicago and has young people's abilities to expect greatness beyond what they see is what she is trying to do. Her Aerostars programs is literally giving wings to dream. She has been honored in Forbes and the Illinois Aviation Hall of Fame Spirit of Flight Award. She was honored with that for her work. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tamara Holmes.
I'm gonna cry, so. It's okay. Because Bessie Coleman is my shero. And this is a huge honor for me. I want to first thank God who gave me the passion for airplanes and aviation. I literally found my calling one day at Maxfield when a pilot took me up to get my first airplane ride, and we were up in a plane, and he asked me, "Do you want to fly the plane?" And I'm 16 years old, and I'm like, he don't know I'm from Maywood, and he don't know I'm crazy, so yeah, let me fly the plane. I took control of the aircraft, and we turned the airplane around, and I was flying over the skyline of the city of Chicago, and that day changed my life. To pursue a career in aviation that day, but I did not know the opportunities that were available to me at 16 years old. I did not know that I could become a glider pilot at 14 or a licensed pilot at 16. I did not know the opportunities that existed in other parts of America for kids that didn't look like me, who have been flying on their grandpa's lap since they were 2 years old. Did not exist in my community. And I pursued aviation at SIU. I was one of only 2 African American females in the flight program in 4 years. It's lonely sometimes. It's okay. But the cream always rises to the top. So thank you, Chicago Defender Charities, for this award. Thank you, Eileen Kelly, for the nomination. It's truly an honor to share the city with Bessie Coleman, to know and live her legacy through inspiring young black and brown girls like myself to soar higher. African American female pilots make up less than 1/2 of airline pilots flying today. Less than 1/2%. See, the numbers really haven't changed since the 1930s, since the 1940s, since the 1950s. But Aerostar is dedicated to putting more faces like ours in cockpits across the nation and across the globe. So not just pilot careers, but we're introducing kids to careers in science, technology, engineering, and math, aerospace. We have now partnered with Boeing. We have now partnered with NASA. We have now partnered with the Illinois Institute of Technology, the Federal Aviation Administration, the Chicago Department of Aviation, and a host of other entities that know and understand that my work is the work of the United States of America. My work is the work of every citizen to create an equal opportunity for young people, regardless of their color, regardless of their academic standing, and regardless of their ability to have their own network and their own finances to be able to impact and support their dreams and their future. So thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much, Chicago Defender paper for being one of the only publications to cover Bessie Coleman's historic run in a short lifetime that was really taken away from her. And one last thing I really want people to know and understand about Bessie Coleman is that she was the first woman of any race to receive an international pilot's license. She did it 2 years before Amelia Earhart, and that has been erased from the history books. It is been documented, so in her legacy and in her honor, thank you so much for continuing to promote and support her legacy in the city of Chicago.
Flying out of Mansfield, and you know, Mayor Daley heard you were flying. Woo! Who's flying these skies? And we need more female pilots, because every time you get on a plane, who is in charge of that plane? Have you seen some of the things happen on these airlines? Okay, right? Thank you for what you're doing. Thank you to all of the honorees, all of the representatives, a round of applause for everything you are doing to make things better and to bring others with you on that journey. And we are going to keep on this theme of flying and soaring. We have a treat for you this evening, something that will lift your cultural spirit. This is Black Girls Can Fly, organized by the founder Sydney Chapman, and indeed we want to welcome Black Girls Can Fly.
You can feel it. You can hear it. Like She can't breathe. In her old house there was a front yard. And a gate. It would block out all of the neighborhood stray dogs and people. She would get out and let her at the stars. She would ask, what's out there past the firmament? What's out there past the sky? The loudest noise she heard was crickets. No, just crickets. No gunshot
match these kids up with generous corporate sponsors like the ones here tonight to make sure that their dreams of higher education is realized. I personally have watched her give and give and give. I'm very proud to say that she is my mom. She is the smartest woman that I know. And so tonight, I would like for you all to help me celebrate her.
My grandmother is the kindest, smartest, most thoughtful person that I know. And I will keep her kind words, thoughts, and actions that she's given me over the 12 years of my life with me as I pursue my dreams, and I will keep them close to me in my heart, and I love you.
You told me one time that I was a watered down version of you. and you thought you were insulting me. It was like my most favorite compliment. To be a watered down version of you, I must be the heaven angel on earth.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, everybody. I'm not her blood or whatever. I got her child. She's an awesome woman. I've been working with her again for a while, and I actually got the opportunity to get our scholarship because of her. A lot of places wouldn't give scholarships to people that was a little bit older. It was all about the teens, and they made sure that I was able to go to school, and now I'm a nurse. Slammed in my face like, no, we only give it to high school kids or people that's fresh out of school. And so because of that, you know, she's opened up so many doors for me and my family, and I'm just so appreciative of that. And also, she's been an awesome mom. My mom passed away 4 years ago, and just her guidance, I can call her about anything. I can see her inspirational post, and I know that it's so authentic that I can believe it. It's a belief. I feel that she's just an awesome woman, and I would love everybody to
There, Mama Earth. I'm also not a biological daughter, but as a mom of 4 to a mom of 5, I thank you for creating something so powerful as a scholarship for college. College is expensive. It was expensive 14 years ago, and it's even more so today. So the foresight that you had 14 years ago for these young people to be able to get, I mean, every dollar helps. I got scholarships that help me with books and scholarships that help me with this and that. Every little bit helps. And so for you to have been the originator of this, you have thousands of students that are thanking you because you helped them get to that place that maybe their parents weren't able to get to. But you were able to help them get to that place. So happy birthday. We give you your flowers while why you're here, and thank you for creating this opportunity for us. Okay, Colonel Scott, I get it now. I was not coming tonight. It's my birthday, and but yes, I'm so glad I did. I want to thank you, honey. I'm making thank you so much. These beautiful women standing behind me, having brought children into the world and having raised them for a period of time as a single mother, it would have seemed that 5 children was enough, but there was something about my heart that said that they're my children, their friends are my children, the people on the block, my children. When I came to the Chicago Defender Charities, for me, it was an opportunity to make the children of Black Chicago mine. And I did everything I could do. I came early, I stayed late, I worked for little pay, sometimes no pay. I used my courage and my imagination to create things where nothing stood before me for my children. I don't regret a day of it. My husband and I worked together at Chicago Defender Charities. I'm sure somewhere in the program book there's some talk of him and the relationship he's had over the years with the Synstacks. My story enters at the Chicago Defender. That was a lovely tribute to the newspaper. I had a funny thing happen because my road is the road less traveled, and so I hadn't had the privilege of attending college, and so I did have the dream of writing for the Defender. And so I came one day, I'd go, some of the reporters was my friend, and at the time, Colonel Scott was the general manager, and one day he came in and he said, I had been bugging, you think might be a chance for me. And so one day I came in and I was coming to have lunch with my friend, so I had on a cute short skirt, and that was the day. And he said, it's now or never, and if you're gonna go, you better go. And he was back there with Mr. Leroy Thomas, who had been the editor with Louis Martin and some of the greatest writers at the Defender. And I said, you sure? I tried to pull my skirt down, and so he said, it's now or never. And I went back there, just on my dream of having a byline. And Leroy, I sat down, and Leroy said, okay, you think you can do this? Yes, sir, I do. He said, I'm gonna ask you one question. And if you can answer this question, you can have a shot. He said, there's a fire at 35th and King Drive near the Lawless Garden buildings. I send you over there on assignment. You see the fire chief standing there. What is the first question that you're going to ask? And just as I was about to make up something, the door opened. It was one of the reporters there, and he stuck his head in the door and he said, sir, I
my beat. I have my stories, and Roy said, okay, so how many were killed? And he was like, 2. He's like, okay, that's a leading story. Take that and give it to the editor, blah, 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 blah. And so then he closed the door and he looked at me and I said, well, the first thing I would ask is how many were killed? And he hired me. And that began just a wonderful relationship. I met my husband there, and then we moved over to the Charities, and we started that scholarship program. We've seen so many kids come and go, and yes, we send kids to college and university, and I'm not going to keep you, but we send kids to college and university, but we also got kids, we paid the money for them to get the GED. We sent kids to it's a used appliance store on 51st and King Drive. We went up there and made a deal with that owner. He taught some of our guys how to fix refrigerators and how to fix dryers and stoves. There's Sabina, hi. We sent kids to the Navy, to the Air Force, to the Army. We gave kids bus passes. We built gardens. We had a young lady that came as a guest of Susan Peters. Just came as a guest. And one of the clients didn't have her kids. She had 2. They got 2 scholarships every year for $5,000 each. And she was missing a kid. And Spirit told me to go and talk to that young lady. She was going to Clark, Atlanta in the September of the fall. I said, congratulations. She told us her grades. You are the recipient of a $5,000 scholarship. She just graduated. She's already working. She plans Delta. She never forgets. Don't you forget. This is your opportunity and this is your night. Because we're counting on you to do the difficult things. We're counting on those of you that are here to celebrate the newspaper to understand that the parade, it runs on love, but it also needs help. And those kids that march up and down that route, that's Color Day in Chicago, and those kids live and breathe for that day. And it's our responsibility to make sure that they are there every second Saturday in August in the city of Chicago. So I'm counting on you because I'm going to take a little time off. But I'm counting on you guys. You know, the kids, some of them, they twist, they do this, they do that. Let them do what they do. They have a difficult time just getting through the day. You guys love them. Look in the face of the worst one and love him. Because when you can love him, all the rest of us can rise. Hallelujah.
Well, that just set the stage for all the young people who are receiving scholarships this year. Get ready to stand up. There are over 300 scholarships that have been awarded, totaling more than $1.5 million to deserving students. When we call your name, please come on up here. We want to honor you and celebrate you and send you off to your schools. And their sponsors are going to be with them. Amir Brown, Hampton University. Kiara Daniels, University majoring in pre-law, and Amir, majoring in business and marketing. All right, we need more of us in business and marketing. Ruby Diaz, University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, sponsored by Chicago Teachers Union, majoring in elementary education. So come on up here and look at pictures. Is anyone here from comment? We can picture sponsors over here. So the sponsors are here, come on up. Coca-Cola we call, the CTU, Chicago Teachers Union, sponsoring Ms. Diaz, come on up. How about Ania Hill, attending Howard University Business and Accounting, sponsored by FedEx. I know FedEx is here. Yes, come on up here. Emmanuel Owisu, attending North Central College, majoring in biology, and is sponsored University of Chicago Medical Center. Christian Hitchum, attending Loyola University, majoring in biology, sponsored by CBS. Nathan Plummer, I met you already, I know Nathan's here, attending University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, majoring in biology, sponsored by University of Chicago Medical Center. Alexandria Pope, attending Howard University of Communications and Marketing major, sponsored by Comcast. Jordan Reeves, attending Xavier University, majoring in chemistry at Queen's Pharmacy, sponsored by Walgreens. Mateo White, attending Clark Atlanta University, majoring in psychology, sponsored by Harmony Health. And Shatan Harris, going to Columbia College, majoring in fashion design, sponsored by Illini Hair. An impressive group. A round of applause for everyone. And for those of you who are here, taking words about their sponsee. Is this Amanda? All right. Oh, at the same time. All right, beautiful. This is from University of Chicago Medicine, sponsoring these two students.
Peters, I'm the Manager of Community Relations with the University of Chicago Medicine. I work directly with the Urban Health Initiative, and this is what we do. We give back to the community, and it is my honor and my pleasure. What I want to say is I'm so grateful for being able to do this for 10 years, and I also have this feeling that this is the best Chicago Defender Charities Gala that I have been to for the 10 years. There's something about this that feels like home. I don't know if anybody else feels like this, but from the moment I walked into the space, I told the friend that I brought with me, oh man, I'm feeling emotional. I may be crying today. So this is just amazing. And I want to say to my scholarship students, good job, and also keep up the good work. We tend to keep our students for the tour of duty that they are in college, so we will refund them every year as long as they make grades. And I'm also going to apologize because we always bring a really heavy swag bag, and we got busy today and didn't get that done, but I owe you, and so you can see Dwayne Johnson because he's going to make it happen for you. Thank you.
And as we know, there are not enough of us, and there are definitely not enough of us as psychiatrists. So again, congratulations, Dr. Minty.
Yeah, my cheeks hurt. Get used to that. Congratulations and have a great fall in Atlanta. Our next sponsor is FedEx. I know FedEx brought a big crew here today.
How you doing? On behalf of over 400,000 FedEx team members around the world, we have the distinct pleasure here to be one of the corporate sponsors of the Chicago Defender Scholarship Gala. My name is Sabina Foster, and I manage divisional communications of the Central Region of FedEx. And I am so excited to be here today along with the rest of my team members over there representing our company. Since 2004, FedEx has supported the Chicago Defender Charities through financial support, volunteer efforts, and over the years, we've joined together as a family for common causes such as feeding the homeless and also supporting World War II veterans. This year, Chicago Defender Charities has made us so proud to award this $2,500 scholarship to Nia Hill. As she continues her journey to Howard University in Washington, D.C., her mom is here, right here, and she says right now she's in Kenya. And she has to tell us a little bit more about that. But let me add something about Nia. She has been able to achieve a 3.85 GPA going into her sophomore year. So that's just a fantastic thing. But like I said, at FedEx, we're so thrilled to participate in the 88th Annual Ability Parade, and we support the mission of Chicago Defender Charities. Again, thank you so much for this honor, and we love delivering educational support to the community. Thank you.
FaceTime her or something. But they don't do that FaceTime there. All right, and our next corporate sponsor, who want to go next? Comcast is here with Alexandria Pope. Come on up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Gwen McNutt. I am an External Affairs Manager with Comcast. We've been partnering with the Bud Billiken Parade and the Chicago Defender Charities for several years now. Giving out these scholarships is one of my favorite things to do. It fits perfectly into our community investment initiatives of expanding digital literacy, promoting service, and building tomorrow's leaders. I'm just really excited about all of the scholarship students tonight, and really happy that I can give this award to Alexandria tonight. Thank you.
Our next corporate sponsor, ComEd, and ComEd for Amir Brown. Come on up.
dedication of our youth and their ability to use their education to power lives in their communities. So, Mayor, we are proud to support your dream to have a lasting impact on your community and look forward to seeing you accomplish all your dreams. Congratulations.
Walgreens is our next corporate sponsor. Coming up, Joy Reeves.
Charities for the work that they do presenting to the nation and the community, our community, the annual Blood Billiken Day Parade. And to all of the teens in the room, so we have something very good coming up in 2017 as a part of Walgreens. So it's called the 2017 Walgreens Expressions Challenge. And this is just really about giving you the opportunity to express healthy choices creatively through the arts with the opportunity to win $2,000. You know, moving into Charities, so I had the opportunity to meet her upstairs and take pictures. But this is really the time where, you know, it's really important to recognize the students in our communities that are deciding to take on the academic pursuit. And we know it takes a lot of focus, dedication, patience, and hard work. And so that speaks a lot for the students that are here, enjoying you being here. It says a lot about you on that journey. We're happy to take it with you. You know, I found out that she's going to be a pharmacist, so really
Did we miss any of the other sponsors who might be here? Alida here. That's Chantal Harris. Come on up.
Chicago Defenders Charities and Alumni Healthcare. So thank you very much.
Did we get to all the sponsors who are here? Anybody here from CTU? Or Coca-Cola? Come on up, young ladies. We love you. Come on. Come on. Even if the sponsors aren't here, we are all.
But being that my grandfather was the founder, it just means so much to me to be a part of this and to share this with you, and that you all really make Bud Billiken Parade and the Chicago Defender Charities what it is. Each and every one of you have been a blessing and an inspiration for me tonight, just to see, I mean, from the music to the speeches and the honorees and the scholarship recipients. I'm just overwhelmed with joy, and I'm just appreciative. And I thank you, Leah Hope, too, because you have just made it a wonderful evening for us. So, ABC7 is one of our partners, and I'm just so grateful for them because they just want to make sure that we have a great Bud Billiken Parade for our kids. So I'm very humbled and grateful, and thank you so much. And I'll just call Leah up for the closing remarks, but thank you. Have a good evening.
All right, our great-grandfathers, great-grandmothers up there, they're like, okay, all right, let's close this program down, all right. Because you know what? Tomorrow's a work day, and we're back at it tomorrow. This provided tremendous inspiration for me and appreciation for all that you do, because everyone here in this room is making this possible. And we are looking forward to a great Bud Billiken Day Parade. It's back to the normal time, right? And starting at 10 now, right? You're not starting early again. Okay. Whew, okay, all right. Some people showed up late and missed it, right? It's at 10 o'clock on October 12th. Of course, ABC7 will be out there. I know that August. What did I say? August. No one's going to show up in October. Thank you. August 12th, 10 a.m. I know the alphas are out there. My dad's an alpha, so I know it's important, the important work that the sororities and fraternities are doing to encourage the young people to start the school year off well. And I cannot leave the stage without acknowledging the ladies in the 20s attire and these cute hats. Okay, y'all can sit here all night. Come on now. You know, they went to work, they bought those outfits, you know, they get extra credit for that. So I wish you all a wonderful evening, a wonderful weekend. Look forward to seeing you at the Bud Billiken Parade, August 12th.